bring your signs. They can bring your big signs, bring your small
signs.
Don't bring any signs that break the illusion though. Bring your signs that have good words on them. I'm looking for no swears. I want the best words. If you have if you got a sign with a hot dog on it.
Welcome to 141 and 2/3%, the wrestling podcast, hosted by two lapsed wrestling fans who, we need to really change the tagline, I think, because I'm not going anywhere right now.
I have just ultralight beam stuck in my head.
We'll get to that later for sure. Things have been just hot fire right now. It's the lead up to WrestleMania. You can't look away. Just unbelievable matches, storylines, setups.
Absolutely.
It is just fire right now. Just absolutely fire. My name is Tyler. This is my co-host, Will. Will, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. How about you?
I'm doing okay. My work sucks. Work sucks. I know.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
Hello. Yeah,
this guy's got
today, let me tell you.
Well, this guy's got a case of the Mondays. You ever say that? No, you don't.
I have, and only ironically, but it feels like right now that my boss probably would say it unironically, and that's kind of leading to my rage right now.
That's okay. You take that and you use it as fuel. So I just came off a recording session with Steve, and a good chunk of it, I just kind of like poked him. I just gave him a little bit of firewood, and he just lit it on fire and just went with it. And just
gave him a little shim-sham flim flam.
That's how you got to do. You got to take the energy and funnel it, all right? And now you got to take it and talk about wrestling, all right? Because there's a lot of good shit.
Steve's a tinderbox. You just give him a spark, and he's on fire.
It's true.
Let's talk about some wrestling. Let's talk about not really a heavy news week this week, but got a couple things I wanted to touch on. Becky Lynch went to the White House, and she's an American citizen now. I guess she was just there because it's St. Patrick's Day, which seems like vaguely racist. Like let's just invite some American Irish Americans here to prop up St. Patrick's Day. What are your feelings on I used to love St. Patrick's Day, and I think when I found out through 23andMe or whatever from one of my relatives that we were not Irish at all, it really killed the vibes for me, because I grew up being taught that we were heavily Irish, and then a 23andMe came out and it was like, oh no, you're just British, you're just normal old boring British, no one gives a shit.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people get their heritage confused in the same way, but at least yours got corrected. At least at some point, somebody said like, no, no,
you're not Irish at all, bud.
You're not Irish.
Get the fuck out of here. No,
I was lucky in that regard.
Yeah, I'm just pure British. I mean, from that side, from my mother's side. I don't know about my father's side. They don't really talk much. So we are presumably Scottish on my dad's side because of our last name. But, you get into a little bit of funkiness when it comes into the heritage and stuff, right? Because I had a friend whose last name was Deal, and it was
Diesel?
Nope, not Kevin Nash.
Oh,
it was
damn.
His last name was Deal, D''EALL, and it turns out that they had just switched their last name from Nash to Deal. No, they had changed their last name from O'Neill to Eel to avoid persecution, or to basically not persecution, to avoid to avoid getting arrested. His great grandfather just changed his name to hide from the law, and it was kind of earth shattering for them. And that's my last name is Young. Oh, dox myself. Well, good luck finding me. There's 17 of me of my name at my same age.
That's fantastic.
They Young is a really arbitrary bastard name as it is, in the limited heritage that it has in Scotland. So who fucking knows? My great grandfather could have just switched his name to Young. He was fuck
right.
It. I'm out of here, because the whole thing is if you had a kid and then the kid betrayed the family, they would change their name to Young, because it was if you were Mike McDonald, and then you had a kid named Mike McDonald, and then the kid Mike McDonald betrayed the family or some shit, and they kicked him out.
Yeah.
He would just go to Mike Young, like Mike the Younger, Mike Young. Mm-hmm. So who knows? My family could have just fucking pulled that trick in like 1879.
Right. Well, to answer your question, no, I didn't get to experience St. Paddy's Day a lot when I was a kid. Wrestling.
Wrestling. So yeah, Becky Lynch was at the White House. She put her book in the library of the White House, apparently. I don't know how real that is, because, like, you know, props to Becky. Love her. We're going to talk about
Biden's
later
a fan.
how much I love her. Biden's a huge wrestling. You know, actually, it wouldn't shock me if Biden was a wrestling fan.
He never misses an episode. He's been doing it since 1978.
Here's my Biden. Here's my Biden. Now, Becky, let me ask you a question. Is Bruno Sammartino still wrestling?
I was going to just make the same bit. I was going, Bruno Sammartino, he definitely was aware of him back in the day.
I mean, he's from up the north, well, he's from Delaware or whatever, so he's part of the WWE territory, the original WWF territory, I think.
I mean, I've got no opinions on this. Congrats, Becky. You got to go to the White House. Congrats being an American citizen. You're in it.
Great for you.
You're in it to win it. You made
You're already
fantastic.
rich, so being an American is great if you're already rich.
I mean, you're cool already, so that's like halfway to being rich.
Yeah, pretty much. You're right there.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Exactly. Another thing I wanted to touch on was Darby Allin broke his foot in a wrestling match.
Really? Just his foot?
A week before he was supposed to climb Mount Everest. So that's off the table.
You know what? I wouldn't take it off the table. I would say it's very much on the table. In fact, I think it's already on the plate, and I think Darby's already on the plane to Mount Everest.
The first man to climb Everest with a broken foot.
And swanton dive right off of it.
Right off the peak. Would put it past him.
Godspeed, Darby.
And the other thing is, we'll touch on it a bit when it actually happens in the ring or outside of the ring, but apparently Asuka's hurt. I don't know if there's an update on that since I last checked, but Asuka got hurt in that little bit they did with Damage Control on Smackdown, I believe.
Interesting.
Did you see her limping around when that happened?
I did not see her limping around. I was kind of, I was honestly just kind of like tuning in out. My Smackdown experience was a bit haggard, to say the least.
Right.
It was around St. Paddy's Day. What can I say?
Yeah. She, like, I don't know if how she got hurt was even on broadcast, but she was limping around on the second. Like, they came out from break, and she was, like, on the side, and then she was, like, doing stuff with DC, and she was limping around, and I was like, oh, that's not good, because I know she's a legendary no-seller even to the locker room. Like, I think she lost, like, a bunch of teeth one time, and just was like, didn't even feel it. Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Wow. Well,
yeah, she's pretty hardcore.
Okay, all right.
That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about as far as the news this week goes. Anything you got that's floating around your brain in the wrestling world?
I think there was another announcement for Hall of Fame, and it's just escaping me right now. Older guy. Give me a sec here. I'm going to just pull it up.
Like a Hall of Fame announcement or someone showing up? Or
a Hall of Fame announcement, like somebody getting inducted. Newer guy.
I don't know if I missed any of that. Well, Muhammad Ali's going in, but I think we touched on that.
Thunderbolt Patterson?
Patterson. We talked about that last week.
Okay. Ben, I think that's everybody right now. Ben, I thought Thunderbolt was just announced. Yeah, no, Thunderbolt was announced last week. Okay, sorry, my bad.
All good. Let's just get into SmackDown then. March 15th from the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, a legendary hotbed of wrestling. Was wondering how the crowd was going to respond here, and then it got really interesting really quickly. Will, I want you, before we get into this, I want you to set the scene on how you first watched SmackDown this week.
Okay, so I went down to the Hitman Bar, and for those of who are listening who are not familiar with that, it is Bret Hart's bar in the city right here in Cowboys Casino. Super wrestling themed. I think it's only been open for like a year and a half now, so it's still very, very young. I've got opinions about the place. I don't know if you want me to like dive right into it. I'm not tearing it apart. Just a couple tweaks, and we're on the money. But because
it is a bar in a casino, I feel like our listeners can kind of fill in the blanks on like what kind of level this bar is. Like,
I know,
a casino is like, it's not even like a separate entrance, right? Like, it is just straight up
it's in
part
the casino.
Of the larger casino floor.
You have to go through the casino to get to it. All right, well, I'll just say it right here, and it is actually worth mentioning because it did affect my experience for Smackdown, which was very listening focused. So, so the issue that I had here is that it was Friday night. I'm at a wrestling bar. There's wrestling on television. There was no sound for the wrestling at all. It was just radio or like a playlist or whatever that was playing.
Which is incredible because we lead off with The Rock doing like a 25-minute promo. Including a song.
A song. It's all listening based. Like, there's barely any movement. The Rock is sitting down, matter of fact. And so I'm sitting there eating my chicken burger, watching The Rock. Clearly what it looks like, he's being entertaining as fuck, but all I see is just like him just sitting there talking into a mic. And then I see a picture of Stardust go up on screen. I'm like, wow. And then I see a picture of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch go on screen. I was like, well, he's definitely calling him a clown emoji or something along those lines. And then I see a picture of what's his name? John Mormont? Is he the brother of Jorah Mormont?
Ja Morant is his name. Ja Morant, a basketball player who has been suspended multiple times, basically because he can't stay off IG Live with his guns.
Well, it's for Khaleesi. He's got to protect Khaleesi.
Exactly. He's trying to bring. He's trying to get Marine for her.
Yeah. So a lot of things going down, and I'm watching it with no sound whatsoever. Eventually, we get into the matches, which are better. But you still miss a lot of. Actually, you know what? I don't miss the SmackDown commentary. At least the matches were really good, and then I was able to watch it later. But this promo that The Rock cuts here for 25 minutes, and it seems like The Rock is just getting like 25 to 35 minutes just to do whatever the hell he wants on camera.
It's true, and
commercials.
Especially on SmackDown, it is a time sink.
Absolutely, that's half your show. It's an hour and a half, 2 hour show. Hour and a half without commercials.
Yep.
Half of your show is spent with The Rock talking into a microphone. That being said, it is this version of Rock, and it is great. It is great, but I don't know what my point is. It's great, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I think that's my point.
I didn't hate it. It was I didn't love it. This promo, mostly just because he
okay,
as tradition has dictated now over the last few weeks, he comes out to the huge pop that transitions into boos as he starts to walk out. I did want to point out that they fucking played the Hollywood Rock theme, which I've been begging. I don't think I've been doing it on the podcast, but I've been talking a lot with my brothers who are big wrestling fans and some other people about how I was desperate for the Hollywood Rock theme to come back. And so we get a transition into the Hollywood Rock theme, and I'm very excited. And then The Rock goes out there and basically sucks the crowd's dick for a bit, talking about how he started right here in Memphis on Channel 5, the big top flea market. He even drops a Flex Kavana, which is like his character from back then when he was in Mid-South. I think it was Mid-South. And then he says, finally, The Rock has come back home. He's really leaning into it. And I was thinking he just wanted the face rub before he destroyed them. But I think he went a little too hard with the face stuff. Because the crowd didn't want to boo him after this.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think this goes back to what we've been saying. What is it goes back to why I switched over to believing that this is a pivot, which is obviously is. It's that The Rock clearly doesn't want to be completely hated. He wants to be a face. He wants to be adored and loved. I think he needs that. I think he needs that recognition. But what's getting the job done right now is being a heel. And you're right. He does lean into the face promo stuff a bit too hard. But all of this is, what this is to me is, now that I'm thinking about it more and more, like when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is really fun. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, he really is just kind of like playing the hits. He's almost kind of like doing what he would assume he would do when he was in his late 20s. You know what I mean? When he was Hollywood Rock back in the day. But it doesn't quite match up. Like they're two different people. And it's so clear when you see, I thought it was clear as day when it came to The Rock and the caliber performer that we're used to on Raw and SmackDown. We saw The Rock do his promo here. He stumbles quite a bit. He even like when he's talking about Mama Rhodes, when he goes into this whole Mama Rhodes bit, he starts talking. He accidentally says Mama Reigns at one point, and he pauses and he like smiles. He knows he did it, but he stumbles quite a bit. And I'm not a great talker. I'm stumbling all over the place. But for a guy that was electrifying on the mic back in 2001, 2002, it sticks out really hard. And then when you compare it side by side with a promo that was very, very close after this, the LA Knight promo with AJ Styles, LA Knight can walk circles around The Rock in a shoot promo when it's just off the cuff.
Yeah, at this point, absolutely, 100%.
Like it's not even close. Like, and I know that The Rock probably had a lot of this promo rehearsed, and he even had a script for the song that he was singing. He was reading off a chart or whatever. So
the song was so rough for me.
It was rough. It's interesting. It's interesting for him to sing a song.
It was a bold choice. It was a very bold choice.
Maybe he had the confidence because he did Moana and he sang in that, but like
which he also called back to in this.
Which I'm wondering how Disney feels about this, because he's co-opting the "what can I say except you're welcome" line into a very, very creepy version of The Rock that I haven't seen before, and I don't know if he intended it to be very creepy, but as soon as he went to the Mama Road stuff, I was looking over like at our other friend here, and I was like, where is he going with this? Like what? And then he started talking about beating Cody, but like at the beginning there, it was like, what the hell are you? Where are you going with this? It just felt awkward and stiff and weird and just out of place. And I wonder, like in the moment, yeah, it seems great because it seems like it's all the hits. But once you start diving in, start peeling it apart a little bit, all the cracks start to show, and it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
The cracks were there for me from the beginning. Like I start off like really leaning into his Memphis history, and then going into a fucking song with some, I assume, like local talent, and then, you know, coming out of that weird fucking thing. Then he took some shots at Seth and John Morant, and then he starts to get serious again, shows the slap. But then, he just starts like making everything so unnatural and forced. He starts talking about like, you're going to get this belt, Mama Reigns. And then he like brings out the Rock branded weight belt, and he's going to cover it in blood and give it to his mom. I mean, and then at that point when he said that, the crowd was chanting "whoop that trick," because the Rock was like over with them, with like the entire crowd. It just felt really forced and a little bit too long, and this is probably the weakest he's been since they decided to since they decided to pivot. This is the weakest I think that he's been. I didn't like hate it. It just all felt very forced and awkward.
Yeah, it felt very forced and awkward, especially now that we've seen Monday Night Raw and we saw the Cody promo, which we'll get to. But to me, it was night and day. Even with the LA Knight promo after this after this Rock promo. Like, it's clear the level of talent that we have on the roster, and they deserve the spotlight. And The Rock he isn't at that level of performer before, or he's not at that level of performing
that he was before.
Yeah.
And he's starting to work. He's working his way into it for sure. And I've really appreciated some of the stuff he's done, especially the last couple of weeks. But something here was just a little too. I'm The Rock, and I need to be loved. For me,
exactly. Yeah.
Like he should be leaning more into that heel shit, even if he is in Memphis. Like, I don't give a fuck that you're in Memphis, bud. Like, go out there and shit all over the crowd and put yourself over as a heel. That's what you're doing right now. And he's so hard for him to do it. And yeah, like, is there anything else you really want to talk about with this promo? I want a couple things just to touch off at the end of it, but is there anything else you want to like point out or discuss?
Not the promo in itself, but I'm kind of like I find myself flip-flopping on my opinions about The Rock. But what I will say about The Rock's promos over the past few weeks, including this one, is that The Rock seems, because The Rock is able to push the envelope with these promos by swearing, by making these very violent and bizarre threats to Cody and Seth, because he's been able to push the envelope in that way. A lot of the other wrestlers have found opportunities to also push the envelope, and I think as a whole, that is a positive. That is a positive thing. I think on a whole, we're seeing much more kind of a shoot style promo, and we're seeing a lot more kind of like behind the scenes takes on promos, where we're using things like receipts. We're calling things heels. That is a positive direction.
I absolutely agree with that 100%. It's definitely bled into other aspects of the show, and I don't know if it's just that The Rock's use of it gives tacit approval to other superstars to do it, coupled with the exit of Vince and a little bit more leeway, or if they're legit, like the writer's room is saying, hey, if Rock can say this, we can say it. I don't know what the impetus of it is, but it feels a lot more normalized to, toe that fourth wall breaking. They're not outright breaking it, but they're shooting a little bit. They're shooting a little bit more, and it's refreshing to see wrestling on an episode to episode basis.
Yeah, wrestling always works best when you can't tell what's real and what's not. That's what made the press conference the event that it was. You couldn't tell. I mean, ultimately you did. When you go back and look at the tapes, you're like, clearly this is a work. But
I mean, that's what traditionally made the entire business. There's this misnomer that is out there. There's a misunderstanding that's out there that everyone didn't know wrestling was fake until 1985. The truth of the matter is, it's not that, people suspended their disbelief. They knew it was worked. People were fighting. People were boxing. People were shoot fighting for a long time before UFC, before everyone knew that, legitimately that it was fake. Yeah. A lot of people knew it was fake. And you suspended your disbelief and went to a show. And I like that they're blurring those lines, because I don't know if there's really that many people left. I mean, look at some of the people that we know in our lives. I have family members who kind of don't want to talk about the internet wrestling community in general. They don't want to break that fourth wall. For them, they know that it's a work, but they don't want to engage in discussion about it like it's a work. They want to suspend their own disbelief and believe that it's real.
Absolutely. And there's merit to that for sure. There's totally merit to that, and I 100% agree. Like, if that's the way that you enjoy experiencing the product, then I don't want to shit on that whatsoever. But there's only so many times that you can do like a Santos, like an LWO and LW No storyline where, like, oh, Santos said this to Carlito, and then he jumped on Carlito's back, and then Rey Mysterio showed up. Like, it doesn't provide the realism that I need, because I'm intelligent watcher of television, like most people are. Like, it's fake or exact, you know what I mean? So it works better when you blur the lines and open up the back room a little bit. And we're seeing that a little bit more, especially when it came to Raw this past week. Like, it's a positive move, and it could be because of The Rock is pushing the envelope, or maybe because of the Vince exit, which is clearly has been a healthier. Clearly the environment has been healthier without Vince involved, which is sad to say, but it is. I think it's a relative fact. I don't want to maybe like put words into WWE's mouth or any of the talent's mouths, but it is something that makes it.
The talent has said that,
Okay, then the talent has said that. Okay, so.
The announcers have said it too, like not having Vince screaming in their fucking ear all episode has helped them be a little bit more free.
Michael Cole can have fun. Michael Cole has never had fun before, and you can see it on his face. You can see it how he's never had fun before, and he's having fun for the first time in his life.
He's having an absolute blast out there.
He's having an absolute blast, and I'm here for that. I'm here for it. This is a positive direction. That being said, the Rock promo in a microcosm, this last one, rough. Yes, rough.
Definitely rough. I mean, if we got this like 3 years ago, it would be incredible. But with some of the work that he's put forward lately, it just seems a little incongruous to what we've seen the last month or two, right?
Is it just me? Or does this seem like a Hail Mary attempt to keep himself relevant after like 3 or 4 real flops in his career?
I legitimately, my point of view of this legitimately in the background is he is becoming more of a large-scale businessman with his acquisition of the XFL and the subsequent merger with the USFL, and he's done a very good job of he's wrestling's Ryan Reynolds. He's done a great job of diversifying his portfolio and becoming a larger businessman and doing a lot of projects outside of just his movies, period. And then I think he saw this opportunity, and I think WWE did too. The larger board, Endeavor, TKO, saw this opportunity to kind of bring him back in the fold. And I'm still under the impression, I'm still assuming that a lot of this Vince stuff, round 2 Vince stuff, like the big serious stuff that's happened over the last few months, is a leak from TKO to get Vince out. Even though there is some there is some counters to that with the idea that like, well, why didn't they do it sooner, or why did they ask him? My understanding of it is that they asked him to stay on the board. They asked him to be more involved when he had already taken kind of a half step back when Stephanie was running the joint. But I do believe that they saw this opportunity to kind of bring Rock into the fold, and they wanted to distract from the Vince stuff, which, no matter how this is all played out, definitely happened. Like, no one's fucking talking about Vince right now, right? So that was definitely a win. But I think that they brought him in to distract from the Vince stuff, and they legitimately thought the best way of doing that was the Roman Rock match that they've been putting off for a few years, not really understanding that the work they had done the last few years, notably Triple H and Shawn at NXT and kind of Tony Khan as well with AEW, that wrestling is having a resurgent moment, and it already was having a resurgent moment over the last couple years.
Yeah.
And that the crowd that they had already had a lot of investment in the storylines that had been cultivated by Triple H's impeccable booking. So
yeah.
Then when they miscalculated, they thought they could distract with this, and then, the fans just revolted when they found out that Cody wasn't going to get his second shot to actually finish the story, which was honestly the only real reason you can justify not having him win last year, is to punt for another year and kind of bleed the story a little bit more. And then they decided to turn it. I don't really think it's like a larger, smarter, it's like the Star Wars movies. It's like the sequel trilogy. I think we all, like, there's a point of view where they're like, oh, they have this all figured out, they're going to nail it. And then there's another view where you see the realistic situation where they're like kind of just flying by the seat of their pants here.
Yeah, it's definitely a fly by seat of your pants situation. They were doing. I agree. I think they were just doing with the best they can with the situation that they were given, and it clearly was something to distract from the Vince allegations and everything else that was kind of going on at the time. The timing sucked and that bit him in the ass, and now they had to pivot, and this is what we're getting. And that being said, like the fact that they have pivoted and adapted to the situation so well, and they've done this a few times already in this past 4 months, with losing CM Punk, where CM Punk was clearly going to be the favorite for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was clear to me. We all knew where this was going. Then he hurt his arm, and we now got this whole opportunity with Drew McIntyre for him to do this, and it's just as good as anything. Like they pivoted so well with the situation. Yeah, it's interesting. It's such a like it just goes to show like Triple H's knowledge for the game, down to play the game, and dealing with situations as they come as they come up. It's been very good, but as a whole, I'd say the Rock promo here was weak, and I think Rock has been weak on the mic overall. There's been things that are great, like the shirts. The shirts have been fantastic. When he's finally committed to the heel bit, I also really like that. Like it was all great stuff, but the Rock on the mic as a whole has been B- at best, and it's just seeing the Rock now has showed me how much more talent we have on the roster across all of it. Like there's so many people who are just so good at this. They're like superhumans. Like, when LA Knight's talking that he's not reading from a script. He is just going through it. And he's gotten so much better in the last year. Like last year around this time, you probably hear him cut a promo and he would be maybe stuttering here and there, but nothing like too bad. Now he is crisp. You can understand everything that guy is saying. And it means it comes out with purpose and enunciation. Cody Rhodes as well. Seth Rollins as well. When Seth went face-to-face with The Rock at the tag team face-off 2 weeks ago, The Rock was stumbling that entire fucking night over every word he was saying. And Seth Rollins, when he hit that "shut up, old man," or whatever he said, Seth made him look like a chump. Like a chump.
Yeah, it's crazy how deep the roster is right now. And, I keep trying to tell people in my life who used to be involved with wrestling how much they're missing right now, because it's so just like you look at the Mania card right now. Like the Mania card is so deep.
It's wild.
And there are so many matches.
Wild.
I hold myself in high regard with my booking ability.
Oh, I know you do.
And,
I know you do.
I will say things that will turn people off, but it's the truth. Like, you don't need Bobby Lashley in the main card right now. It's full. So you distract him with AOP, and that is the weakest of these situations. We're talking look at this WrestleMania card so far, like Jimmy and Jay, no title, brother against brother, they're going to tear the fucking house down.
Let's go.
AJ, LA Knight, not even really that much build up, but two incredible performers. They're going to tear the fucking house down.
Yeah.
Becky, Rhea, I think might be the greatest women's match we've ever seen in our lives. I'm stoked for what this is going to be. And this is going to probably be the the match before the main event on night one, because you got to have probably maybe one of them will lead off, because they do that thing now where they kind of have a co-main event to lead off to get everyone hyped.
Yep.
It's just the roster is so deep, and everything has been so carefully cultivated that something like The Rock coming out and doing his thing is absolutely great. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But it's, they could have really used this in like 2017.
Yeah,
way more than they can use it right now, because you don't need to take time away from, and like, what is the weakest thing we see on a week-to-week basis? The Dance Queens? Carter and Chance?
Oh, maybe not The Rock. I mean,
legit. Like, what is the weakest shit we see? Michin getting buried by Tiffany Stratton, who is like shooting to the fucking moon right now.
Yeah, exactly. But
and Michin is jobbing out to who is also an incredible wrestler. Like the card fantastic. Is so fucking deep right now. It's just absolutely, like, to do a thing like they bring Pretty Deadly up, who I adore, you adore, we've discussed it. And they are like C tier right now, much to my chagrin, but also kind of justifiable in the larger picture.
Justifiable in the larger picture, and it doesn't take away from opportunities that they could have later on when they split the tag team titles up, which I 100% think that they should. We need two tag teams titles. That's too many tag teams.
Mania, I guarantee it.
Yeah, there's too many teams right now, and too many like fire teams going on. Like, I am starting to really, really, really like New Catch Republic. Like, really like New Catch Republic.
I'm glad to hear that you're coming around on them. We'll talk about that a little bit more later.
Yeah.
But, but we should probably run through some shit here. Yeah,
run through some shit. We'll get through some of this. I want to get to LA Knight and AJ.
Okay, so we hard cut from the Rock promo. Just a few other things, just at the end of the Rock promo. So he's gonna whip Cody's ass with the weight belt and hand it to his mom. Cool, whatever. He drops the final boss line, which we'll touch again later on Raw, because I have things to say about that. A 23-minute promo, absolutely insane what they chose to put in this, especially the song. That shit was not earned. That is some stuff that Rock could have done back in like 2001, but he has not earned enough to have his own fucking musical segment reading off of a cue card, especially as we just discussed how deep this card is. But we'll continue. So they hard cut from this to LW No before the break, and it really does show the dichotomy of this show. I forgot. This is the same show where LW No and LWO are feuding.
It hits you with whiplash. I remember just going, ah!
I know, right? Like, oh wait, this is the same show. But then, to be fair, LWO and LW No and LWO come out to a qualifying. I think, was this the one that was the qualifier to the qualifier, which arbitrarily didn't exist on Raw? Like, whoever won this got a chance to fight someone else to then fight in the 6-man tag? Or was this the one that was direct?
You know what? I think they are. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up.
Okay, you look it up. I'll run down some stuff. But yeah, they didn't do it on Raw. That Raw was just straight up qualifying matches one-on-one. But I think this one was a qualifier for a qualifier. I'm quite sure, actually, now that we're talking about it. Which was weird to me, but whatever, I don't care. This match, to be fair, was incredibly solid. It was innovative, crisp, luchador style, no mistakes. I was just captivated by this match, which is saying something for a storyline that I've repeatedly talked about on this podcast that I'm not really too interested in. But from just a straight up match quality, this was an incredible match. I thought it was a great, clean, perfect WWE style high flying luchador match.
Yeah, I'm on the same page here. Like, their ring work is fantastic. It's just the storyline, no. I mean, they're doing their best they can with the situation that they have. I don't understand why we're doing like Latino tag team versus Latino tag team. I don't know if there's some sort of like, I don't know. It feels like Vince booking, It
does a bit, but like they're not being stereotypical.
No, they're not being.
I'll give them
stereotypical.
that.
They're not. They're
not the fucking Mexicools. You remember the Mexicools?
I do not. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Oh, Will.
That's how I might be down for that.
Do yourself a favor. Oh, no, Will. It was like lowriders and fucking cholos and like just really leaning into the stereotypes. It was Juventud Guerrera, Eddie Guerrero, maybe. Anyways, look it up, folks.
Wild.
Super race. I almost put it on the stereotype game we did last week. It's real bad. It's real fucking bad.
Wild.
Anyways, but yeah, excellent match. Bravo. Sorry, we got to make up time just like you guys did on SmackDown. We'll keep running through this. Kayla Braxton is not backstage, but she's on the ramp interviewing LA Knight. Love this. Hope they do this more. The only thing I didn't love is that she's at the top of the ramp. She introduces LA Knight for an interview, quote unquote. And then immediately LA Knight snatches the mic and Braxton just leaves. I'm like, wait, what? What are we doing here?
Well, I think, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to bring it back here to Legado del Fantasma, not LWNO and LWO. They have advanced to the WrestleMania or they have advanced to WrestleMania.
Okay, they did. Okay, this was another match I'm thinking of then. Okay.
Yeah. But how not The Rock. Oof, sorry. I apologize. LA Knight. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. How LA Knight starts this is he takes the mic, he holds it real close, and he says, I need to cook for a minute.
He fucking delivers an A+, zero stutter, just indictment of AJ.
So good. And that's what I mean. It's like the talent here is so solid, and he's come so far from where we saw him a year ago, where he was not bad on the mic. I don't want to say bad on the mic whatsoever. He was
buried by Vince. He was buried by Vince with fucking his before he died. Maxine was left without a brother. He was buried by Vince and doing the maximum. A year ago is not accurate, but our fans who watch wrestling know what we're talking about. Like 18 months ago.
Yeah.
He is just in peak form here. This
Absolutely.
is maybe the promo of the year. Just fucking crushing AJ. And I see what's happening a mile away. We're on the ramp. He's facing the camera. I know AJ's coming out. AJ's coming out with a chair.
The only thing that would make it better, and I was talking to our friend Ed about this, is if they did the promo closer to the ring, like the end of the ramp, and then you see AJ just all the way at the other end, just running down it
full
speed, and then whacking him. That would have been hilarious. Full on Looney Tunes, almost slapstick in a way. That would have been great. But everything
I absolutely loved it. Even with the putting the chair on top of him, and I think one of the legs. I don't think they practiced this before, because I'm pretty sure one of the legs is just pinching LA Knight's like the left side of his body. Which, if you've ever been pinched on the sides of your body, like that's key ticklish zone for a reason. It is very sensitive, and you could see Knight just being like, motherfucker. I have bled for wrestlers before. This is the most pain I've ever been in. But he accepts the match that we've been talking about. That's been coming since Rumble,
and I love it.
I don't even want to touch on anything on the promo. Honestly, it's like if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is incredible. It's impeccable. He just absolutely crushes it out of the park.
It's so good. The only thing I want to touch on here is I like the fact that AJ didn't deliver another like 3-minute thing to like equalize him with LA Knight. It was just a very simple I accept, and that was it. Done.
Yeah.
And then leave. And I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly all you need to do here is just say I accept and leave. And chair shot, great. Doing the whole spot with him sitting on top of him. Loved it. Mwah. Give me more of that. I want to see this match. Let's go.
Yeah, it was great. And then Logan, we see Logan meeting with Aldis and wants repercussions for Randy Orton, jumping in and RKOing him, or RKOing his business partner on top of the Prime logo. Wants an apology. Aldis suggests he gets it in person. We'll touch on that later. Then we move on to Heyman and the Bloodline getting confronted backstage for a response to Jey Uso's challenge. Jimmy goes full Jey Uso on it and just starts fucking delivering an impassioned, unhinged acceptance speech to the camera that I felt honestly was a little bit out of character for how Jimmy's being portrayed lately.
Oh, really?
It's like he was doing like I felt like he was doing like a Jay. He was doing evil Jay. Because I've talked about it on here how Jay's just going a little too hard with the promos. Like, just calm down a bit, bud. I liked last week when he just like walked out, issued a challenge and left. It was a lot more serious and straightforward. Yep. But Jimmy's got them crazy eyes going. He knows what's up.
Yeah, but Jimmy can do the crazy eyes in a really, like, I don't know if Jay can do crazy quite as well as Jimmy, and Jimmy's got that dialed in at this point. Like, if there's a Joker, if there's the stereotypical Joker, quote unquote, on the roster, I would say
Seth Rollins.
No, Seth.
It's Seth Rollins 2 months ago.
It's Seth Rollins 2 months ago. It's Jimmy now, and Jimmy does it better. Jimmy does it so much better.
Jimmy is Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins is
Jared Leto.
Is Jared Leto. No, not Jared Leto. Heath Ledger. Oh,
no.
Wait, right. I forgot Jared Leto played Joker too.
Yeah, no. Jared Leto was Joker, and it's 100% the Jared Leto Joker that he's doing. He even has the same goddamn laugh as Jared Leto.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, no, that's
Can
fair.
we get Jared Leto in WrestleMania? Do you think he can? Can we have him method act as?
Can we
The
get
Rock?
Heath Ledger in WrestleMania?
Can we get Heath Ledger? Is that possible? Anybody out there?
Is that possible? I mean, they don't. That's the thing. Is like this WrestleMania is so fucking stacked. Do they even need the celebrity power?
They
Not
need Jared
really.
Leto power. I think anybody on Earth needs Jared
You know what they
Leto
need?
power.
They need desert power, Will.
They need desert power.
So we move on to Waller versus Orton. And I really...
Sorry, I'm a big 30 Seconds to Mars fan.
Yeah, no, I know. You've always said that. The decade I've known you, you've always been a huge 30 Seconds to Mars
Love
fan.
30 Seconds to Mars. It is art, Tyler. It is art.
Randy really drags this entrance out, and I fucking was all here for it. Like, I know they're already running short on time because The Rock probably went 10 minutes over, and Randy's just soaking it in and throwing shade indirectly at Waller.
Absolutely. If that's a call out, if that is a specific challenge to somebody saying, "Hey, can you speed this up because The Rock took too long?" Orton,
I like it even more.
I love it. I love it. Orton has nobody to. He doesn't have to report to anybody. You know, maybe Triple H.
He's got seniority.
But beyond that, no. If there's some little fucking dweeb with a little headset on going like, "You got 5 minutes," Orton, I want you to take 28.
I really liked. I loved the bit, and honestly, I kind of felt like Logan ruined it a little bit when he came out. Like, he kind of derailed the bit. I know what they're leading up to here. I mean, I've been calling it for weeks, and then we get it confirmed here at the end. The match was mostly dominated by Randy. Paul was pretty much a non-entity for all of the match, which was kind of strange to me that they did that. But as expected, Randy dominates the match against Waller. Yeah. The crowd was all in on Randy. Just huge response from the crowd. Theory taking out Randy from behind, holds him for Paul. KO runs out and saves him.
All right.
Almost gets RKO'd, which I fucking love.
There's a spot here that's I would love to get to.
Okay, yeah, which one?
It's when
the stunner the stunner to RKO. You know, I replayed it, and did you replay this or did you just watch it live?
I've seen it a number of times. Yes, I've seen it a number of times.
Okay. It's not as great on replay. You
No.
do see the stunner, and then you watch Theory pause, like crunched over 3/4 up, and then jump into the RKO. But live, it fucking worked so good. When I saw it, I screamed.
Oh, really?
I got up on my feet.
I caught it live where I was like,
Oh, no.
That was interesting. That was an interesting sort of crouch jump RKO move here that he did, which is hilarious because I was saying to Kate, like I was watching this and I was going, we were at a Hitman bar while we were watching this match, and I was like saying like, oh man, Austin Theory, like, you know, Tyler's really sold me on Austin Theory right now, and he's doing such a great job, and he's hitting all these spots so great, and like, did you see this? I was telling her, I was like, did you see this thing from last week where Austin Theory basically like saved Randy from this botched move and still was able to like play it off as if it was actual work. He's so good. And as I'm finishing that sentence, we watch him crouch and jump and take the RKO. And I remember Kate was just giving me like this look, just like she caught it too. And like Kate, that's another thing that's probably worth its own entire podcast series, is watching wrestling with your partner. Who's somebody who's like, she's watched wrestling growing up, didn't really pay attention too much. Her knowledge is deeper than I give her credit for. Because I remember going like, I asked her like, what are your favorite wrestlers from growing up? And she's like, Scotty Too Hottie. And I'm like, whoa. you dig out Scotty Too Hottie? And she's like, yeah, do the worm. And I'm like, we're getting married. This is gonna be great. But she watching her like watch the matches the way that like she's watching it now through like somebody like me who's critiquing the matches in a way for content, of course, and she can pick up on these things, and she's got the touch now. So for her seeing Austin Theory do that little like pop up into the RKO, she just gave me the best look ever, going like, really, this is the guy.
See, but like my interpretation watching it a couple times is that it was not Theory. It was Randy.
Really?
If you watch it back, Theory actually kind of saves it by delaying a second. Because if you watch just the RKO part, it's perfect. But Randy just doesn't jump in time, because you kind of have to meet, especially with a spot like that. You kind of have to meet in the middle there, right? It's three-way choreography. And I don't think you can really trust too many people other than Theory to try to pull it off. And you see Theory bounce up, and he holds for a second because he sees that Randy is still upright. And then he launches himself into the RKO. So I don't want to throw too much shade at Theory here, because on a couple rewatches, I do think it was just slightly off. But again, like when I watched it live, I was like, that was fucking amazing. It was on the replays where I was like, oh no.
Right. I don't know.
That's not great.
I feel like the RKO can't be initiated until the opponent is in the air for it to work, or at least prepared. Like you see the stance.
Right.
What Randy was waiting for is Theory to be in the air to initiate it.
Right.
And for Theory to get that much height, I think he miscalculated how he needed to bend for the stunner, because there is definitely a way you can do this move and make it look more interesting, like the way that Theory sold the stunner like 3 weeks ago, and he just like did this running man in the air where he took the stunner and just popped right up and he jumped like 4 feet, like amazing stuff, 4 or 5 feet, like amazing stuff. I think just in this moment, he just miscalculates a little, just a touch, how much he needs to bend to get the air that he needs for Randy to initiate the RKO. I personally, like, I get it. Like, I see where you're coming from. I do want to. I think I got to give it to Theory on this one for the botch. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I love you.
It's tough to also sell the stunner forwards. We've all been accustomed to selling the stunner with the back flip or the back launch, right? So for him to launch forward into the RKO doesn't really make as much sense. So maybe that's part of it too.
Yeah, if that's the case, then they should have thought of that and done the stunner like a backward stunner. Then like have KO facing Randy Orton and Austin Theory, like, and then hit Theory with the stunner. KO can jump backwards, and Randy can do the RKO backwards. Now, I don't know how safe that is. That seems like it might be way more crazy in practice than in theory. Hey. But
hello.
But that could be a solution. But yeah, you're right.
The reverse cutter, like the reverse diamond cutter, which is essentially what Randy's doing. A diamond
cutter,
not the reverse diamond
cutters
cutter.
are RKOs.
That's a reverse neck breaker or neck breaker or something.
Something along those lines.
Difficult to nail without hurting yourself, especially out of another move. But yeah, all this comes out after to let Paul know his opponent for Mania, and as I said, I called repeatedly, it's KO and Randy in a 3-way. I know where this is. I think this is heading directly for a Paul retention, and then a KO Randy feud coming out of it with one of them turning heel. And both of them could go either way, right? They're both faces right now, but they're both kind of traditionally heels. So
Logan,
I'm not sure where we're gonna go with that, but no, KO or Randy.
Oh, KO and Randy. Sorry, I missed.
I think they're gonna eventually deteriorate, and then it's gonna lead to a Logan retention, leading into a KO Randy feud.
I know what's happening.
One of them being heel, but I'm not sure where we're going with that.
Prediction time. I got a prediction blinker on. All right.
Hit me.
All right. WrestleMania. Logan, he pulls out the knucks. They're in his pants, right next to his nuts. Right? He pulls them out. The ref isn't looking, right? Then KO grabs the knucks. He pulls them off his fingers because they're his hands are too buttery, right? Takes the knucks. And then he's going to hit Logan, and then somehow he accidentally hits Randy instead with the knucks. And Randy's not going to let that fly.
I definitely think we're heading for that. And also, you have to remember, too, triple threat match is no DQ.
No DQ?
Typically in WWE, triple threat is no DQ.
Oh.
So you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want with Nux.
He's going to shoot him in the head.
I hate the tradition of no DQ on, because, it makes sense on one aspect because you can't have count outs because you have to have someone lying on the fucking floor for 25 minutes while the other two do stuff. But I think maybe foreign objects should be involved in DQ, but they never do it with WWE. So we're heading for something with the Nux, 100%.
Let's do it. And you know what? I want I want Randy to come in with an AK-47. Just kill them all.
A straight gun?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No DQ, baby.
So then we move into Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. It's a fairly quick encounter with some solid lucha, but LW distracts and at least the win for Santos, and they jump Dragon Lee after the bell. Carlito comes out to help. He starts getting worked, and then Ray comes out for the save and challenges Santos to a match. Yada, yada, yada. Really? Do we need anything here?
Nope. We can move on because we got New Catch Republic next.
So, New Catch Republic versus Pretty Deadly, which I believe in 5 years will be headlining WrestleMania.
I would love that. I would love that.
And I love to see New Catch Republic with the matching gear, and I like the colorway they're going for. It's unique in wrestling right now. The navy with the darker red and the gold. Mm-hmm. They still look like themselves, but I think Tyler Bate looks a million times better. I think he had a sleeve on too.
Tyler Bate. Tyler
Bate had that. I think he had a navy blue arm sleeve on too, which made him look a lot better as well.
Made him look a lot better. The trunks look great. It was leaps and bounds better than the tighty whities he was wearing. I actually appreciate the hair being tied back as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a good look.
He looked great. You know what? This match really sold me on New Catch Republic. I'm a big fan of.
I love to hear it.
I'm big fan of how they did it. I love Pretty Deadly too, and I think Pretty Deadly put on a performance as well. But it just wasn't. My eyes were on New Catch Republic the entire time, and
it was nice because it was fairly dominant for NCR, which makes sense in the storyline right now. But Pretty Deadly got a little bit of a run in there at the end, which was nice. I wish they threw a. Yeah.
Sorry, I would say that Pretty Deadly did a fantastic job of putting over New Catch Republic here. They really
absolutely
were really there for them for those spots where New Catch Republic needed those. Like for example, Pete Dunne doing those like stomps on the fingers, right? You really have to be at the right place at the right time to make those look real and make them and to sell them. And every time those kinds of spots showed up, Pretty Deadly was there and they sold and they made it work. So they put over NCR incredibly, but I don't want to bury Pretty Deadly here, because they put on a great performance, making sure that these guys were put over, and that's wrestling, baby. That's fucking wrestling. That's wrestling.
No, I think Pretty Deadly has a long career ahead of them.
Let's go.
And New Catch Republic as well. I mean, I think New Catch Republic, their long-term prospects are a little bit limited by their size, but I think Pretty Deadly has a kind of an M&M run coming out. Like, I think one of them is going to hit really hard. Right? At least one of them.
Yeah.
They're very good in the ring. They know how to sell. They know how to work. I honestly wish they threw us a curveball here and gave us a Pretty Deadly win. I mostly because I'm a fan of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've kind of been undersold since Elton's injury, this legit injury.
Yeah.
I think they had better plans for them back then, and that kind of got derailed by it.
Yeah.
But, what the fuck are Dunne and Bate going to do in this six-pack tag team? Someone is going off a 27-foot ladder through, 17 people, 8 tables, and some fire. Like, something wild is going to happen from one of those two at Mania. So
I have a feeling
it's good to see them in there.
I have a feeling that I think NCR is probably in the running of one of the teams taking the belts home. Definitely one of them.
I think my personal opinion, or who do we have right now? We got spoiler alert for later in the show. We got New Catch Republic.
Awesome Truth.
We got DIY. We got Awesome Truth. We've got Judgment Day, of course. And then is that it so far? 4.
Was it New Day? That one?
Oh, what was that? New Day versus.
Oh yeah, Alpha Academy. Yeah, it was New Day.
Alpha Academy. Well, not even Alpha. Well, Alpha Academy B team.
Yeah.
I do see a situation where I honestly think they're gonna split the belts at Mania, and DIY is getting one of them.
Yep, I can see that.
That's the Raw team. And I would not be shocked if New Catch Republic gets the second one, for sure.
Yeah, I think those are the two teams I would say take it. If Judgment Day doesn't retain at least one of them.
I don't think they are. I think we're coming to the end of
We're coming to the end of Judgment Day. I can feel it kind of petering out. We even see it on Monday with some other storyline stuff. Okay, let's keep going here.
Yeah. They did a segment where they showed off signs and encouraged fans to come out and bring their signs to future events, which I found very interesting.
I missed this.
Oh, you missed this?
Yeah, no. I as soon as the match is done and I know if there's no promo, I kind of move forward and I make sure that I catch the McDonald's commercials on my
McDonald's commercials. They kind of spotlighted just some signs that were in the stands at Smackdown, and they were talking about some live events coming up and make sure you bring your signs. You might be on camera. which I don't hate. You know, it's another production thing that I appreciate. Obviously, they're not having any trouble selling tickets right now.
Bring your signs. They can bring your big signs, bring your small
signs.
Don't bring any
signs
that break the illusion though. Bring your signs that have good words on them. I'm looking for no swears. I want the best words.
No swears.
If you have if you got a sign with a hot dog on it, I would love to see a hot dog.
Let's not talk about LDE.
If you don't have a sign, we'll probably give you.
LDS, not LDE.
Did you see?
Don't bring Die Rocky Die signs.
Did you see? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but there was a promo. It was The Rock. I think it was The Rock, Roman, Cody, and Seth promo, where there was these two guys behind. There was these two guys in camera shot, and you can see them perfectly. They had two signs. One of them was holding said, "IWC equals nerds," and the next guy had a sign that said, "Heel Rock rules." So, and they are huge signs. And as I'm watching the promo, I'm like 90% sure it's that segment. As I'm watching it, I see an official go up to him and tell him to take down the signs, and they take the signs away from him. And they're like, you could see like the whole thing play out, and I got distracted like so hard because you can see them arguing with the people, going like, "What? We can't. There's no bad words on it. We're just calling like the." And
this is America.
This is America.
This is America.
Look, if you guys are listening, which I know you're not, but if you guys are listening, I'm with you. My heart is with you. You know, they shouldn't have taken your signs. They shouldn't have. You know how many other signs? A guy I'm not joking, like 6 rows ahead of you and to the right was holding a Die Rocky Die sign, and he had it the entire time. Okay, so he was able to do it. You guys were just calling the international wrestling community nerds, which we are. You were right. I feel for you. Okay, justice for these two gentlemen, Tyler. Justice.
Justice for these guys. So let's go to the main event here. We got Dakota versus Bayley. Good to see Dakota returning. Clearly Bayley needs a fucking Cody-esque Avengers squad of her own. It's straightforward. We know where we're going with this. DC can't help themselves. They run in. All attack Bayley. It ends one after another until Io finally gives in and hits her in front of the ref for the DQ. This is when I saw Asuka limping around. I encourage you to look at it, but I hope she's okay for the future. I mean, honestly, I don't care. From a human-to-human standpoint, I do care. I enjoy. Asuka has given me hours of entertainment over the years. I love her in the ring. I love her promos. I'm not really digging what they're doing right now, but it's honestly more of an indictment on Kairi than it is on Asuka. Naomi comes in to help Bayley. She gets quickly dispatched. They do a Did you see this moonsault spot?
I barely. Yeah, like I said earlier, I was recovering from St. Patty's Day while watching this. I'm surprised now that I'm remembering. I caught a lot, but I do not remember this moonsault spot.
So they're holding up. I think Dakota had Bayley's arms, and then Kairi and Asuka had legs, or whatever it was. And Io does a moonsault off the top, but misplaces it and fucking rocks Bayley's noggin.
This is familiar. This does sound familiar.
Right to the face. And I felt so bad for, it's one of those things where, they're all, it's the end of the show. They're all standing over her and primping and cooning about how cool they are. And you could tell that Bayley is absolutely hurt. And they're going to go to the locker room and they're going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I fucking need you right in the face. I just missed it." And Dakota's going to be like, "I tried to pull you out more, but my knee still hurt and I couldn't stretch it." And she just ate one right to the noggin very hard.
Fair enough. That sucks.
But that's it for SmackDown. Anything else you want to touch on before we move on to Raw?
No, I was just gonna say Bayley getting hit in the face, that's wrestling. That it's gonna happen.
That's wrestling.
You're gonna eat it in the face. It's just nature of the game, But
pornography and wrestling. You're gonna eat it to the face. It's gonna happen.
Overall, I think it was a pretty solid episode, but then we have Raw. And we were talking, I don't know if we already said it on air because we always take way too long on these episodes, but I was such a big fan of this episode, maybe because I was sober, but this episode was like, was what I needed in my soul. I felt little like gassed out over the past few weeks. I felt a lot of it felt very same, very by the numbers, which is going to be interesting to see how production keeps this level of momentum up after WrestleMania, because there are going to be a number of episodes where we are going to be treated with the episode of the week. You know what I mean? We're just going to be given, I don't want to say boilerplate, but like standard fare Raw and Smackdown episodes that won't.
I mean, like, I don't want to throw shade at you right now, but I think you don't watch enough wrestling. Like,
maybe
the go home shows to Mania amp this shit up to 11. Traditionally, before WWE Network, before PLEs in the pay-per-view era, they would really ramp it up more because they had to get those buy rates. But, like, even with the PLE era, like, we are in for some shit in March, man. Like, usually they go hard in the paint leading up to Mania.
All right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, it'll be interesting to see how the product changes after Mania when this whole 2 years of storytelling. And that's what I mean. And like, that's real. There's 2 years worth of storytelling across all of this that's culminating at WrestleMania 40, which is very interesting to see. But it'll be interesting to see how our show changes after WrestleMania, because we're paying so much attention to the road leading up to WrestleMania. Maybe this will open up an opportunity for us to talk about other things like, burger joints. Maybe we can start a different podcast.
I would certainly hope so. All right, so let's get into Raw. It's March 18th. It's the PNC Arena at NC State. Cody is here, and Pharaoh is wearing a handkerchief that says "Rock as a cat,"
right?
Which I kind of felt was a little, like, I loved it, but I also felt it was a little weak, like a little incongruous here.
Shut up! It's a cute dog.
It was a cute dog, and I don't get me wrong, I loved it, but like, it was just kind of like an understatement to some extent.
I think it was, it's just a piece of merch, all right? The moms watching right now who are Cody crybabies, they're going to buy it. They're definitely going to buy it. As soon as this goes on the WWE store, which it will, a bunch of people are going to buy it. So, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but also shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Fair. So Jay is leading us off. He calls Jimmy out to chat. We have a stare down. Jay wants Jimmy to come back to him. Jimmy says he never left. Jimmy says Jay ran away. I mean, it all makes no sense whatsoever if you've been watching for a long time. Jimmy says Jay's biggest moment is because of him. Jay says his biggest moment will be at Mania and attacks Jimmy. He attacks Solo. They both jump him. In comes Cody to clear the ring. There's not really much to say here. It was all pretty straightforward. And this is the thing I wanted to say about Raw. You loved Raw, and I enjoyed Raw as well, because it was a lot of very solid matches, very solid promos, but nothing was too really extreme on this, which is why I feel we can kind of run through this pretty quickly.
All right, we'll run through it pretty quickly. I will say about this particular segment, I love Jimmy. I love Jay. I love doing the brother versus brother thing, especially doing it as like almost like every 15-year tradition, which I think they just accidentally fell into. Doesn't matter. I still love it. The only thing that I don't like is when either of them are on the mic. They're just not because of the storyline that they're involved in, none of it makes any sense. So they're just saying nonsense to each other and just doing it in such an animated way that just gets you hyped up. They could be literally just listing off ingredients on how to make a peanut butter and pickle sandwich, and just the way that they express it will get me hyped up. So it doesn't.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, anything that they say, it's not like they're bad on the mic. They're just wild, and they're the Usos. And I appreciate Jimmy's performance here. I'm glad that Solo didn't have I mean, I'm not glad that Solo didn't have any time to talk, but I always appreciate when just before Solo does anything, he looks at his thumb. Because then I can just imagine that the thumb.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I can just imagine the thumb just going, do it. Do it.
So yeah, we get through this, which was all pretty rote, and then we move into DIY versus the Creed brothers for a qualifying match. A bit of rough work here to start.
All on the Creeds. All on Creeds.
They're trying to trade some mat wrestling techniques. It's a little bit rough on the Creed brothers' side. DIY was looking very crisp as a tag, as always.
So good.
And the Creed brothers are looking just a touch rough.
Yep.
I will say about DIY, the back pat bit is always a little cringe for me.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I don't love that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I know it's got a history with the crowd, but
I don't like the gimmick. I'm not a big fan of the gimmick because it makes no real sense to me. Like, the team is named #DIY. Like, it's just what does this mean? What does it mean? What does any of
do
this
it yourself, bro? Do it
Fuck
yourself.
Off. I'll pay somebody to do it for me. That being said, what we saw here, I think, was a clash of wrestling styles, and it really showcased not really showcased, but it just showed how young the Creed brothers are to Gargano and Ciampa, who have been doing this forever and at an extremely high level. And it's just the DIY, their style of wrestling is a very, very choreographed, very fast-paced style of wrestling, where the Creed brothers come from the school of Kurt Angle fantasies, you know?
And it has a little bit of the Dance Squad energy for me. Dance Squad, of course, being Carter and Chance. Like, it's just like everything is fine, but everything's a little too much choreography with them, and it's just a touch slower than I'd like and a little rougher than I'd like. In the whole match itself is not very clean, you know? Like, it had more of the vibes of a Tornado tag team match. The ref is kind of ignoring the rules to some extent. They're kind of letting them go. And, you know, I've talked about this before. Like, I just want a little bit more rule enforcement. And if you can't make it work within the rules, then don't do it. But a fine match, whatever. It is what it is. DIY won. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see them at Mania.
It picked up near the end. And overall, I think it was just like clash of styles, but DIY just looked real good. I think DIY just showed their experience here. Yeah,
and happy to see them in the Mania match. And then we move on to Andrade doing his, like, basically his preliminary interview with DIY. Like, he's applying for a job. Priest throws some shade at McDonough and a little bit of shade at Andrade. Did you see that the shirt Dirty Dom was wearing?
I loved the shirt. I loved even the shirt.
The shirt was
Rhea was wearing.
It was the best part of the promo.
It was so good. Actually, did you notice how much Priest's New York accent came through? Like, his New York, like.
I did, yeah. Actually,
like, it really was sticking out in this one, and I want him to lean into it even more. Like, I don't know what the word was, but he was like saying, I think it was like "don't" or something like that, and just the way that the cadence of how you say "don't" with that accent, don't, like, it just has this like
don't.
It has this like lilt to it. And he was hitting it so hard, and to a point where I felt like he was kind of rubbing it, like throwing some spice on it, which I love. Like, own it, baby, own it. I also love Damian Priest. Love Damian Priest.
So then we get Cody time, and this is probably the highlight of the night here. So Cody comes out to deliver a promo. He calls The Rock an asshole. Cuts a decent promo on his ass for going for the throat on the behind the scenes work by The Rock to insert himself into this event. Calls him a carny succubus and a whiny bitch. And this is the thing we were talking about earlier in the show. Like, The Rock's carte blanche to do whatever he wants on the mic is kind of bleeding into other things. And
Yes.
Cody really gets to go off on him hard. He
Absolutely.
turned the mom promo on his ass by giving respect to The Rock's mom. Puts his own mom over. Talks about how he got The Rock's mom to slap, I can't remember who it was, but slap someone in a dark match in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Cites that The Rock has not been in the ring. Yeah, exactly. Cites that The Rock has not been in the ring for a while. That will The Rock bring that big Dwayne energy or that little dick syndrome?
Love it.
Jesus Christ.
Love it. This is what I've been talking about. This is what I mean. It's just like let's push the envelope a little bit. And the fact that he brings up TKO in this, and he really like lifts the curtain up here, even if it's a work, and it is. But we all had this in our heads. We all were thinking it. We all knew that The Rock had to pivot for it to be for this whole thing to work, and he brings it to light a little bit. He brings out like, oh, how TKO was like, oh, you and your Gucci shirts and your big muscles. Yes. He calls it the TKO board for being yes men. This is the shit that I need.
He even threw some shade at Brian Gewirtz.
Yes.
It's like, oh, final boss. Is that a Brian Gewirtz line? Which I'm here for. I'm here for it so hard. Calls Roman a side chick.
I love it. I love it so much. He's doing some serious homework here. Like, it almost feels like he's listening to, like I said, like last week. It feels like he's listening to this podcast. And if you are, fucking, can you tweet about it? Just a little bit.
Please. Just give us a little bit of rub here.
But it sounds like he's paying attention to what people are saying, and he's bringing it and using it. He's using it as ammunition in these promos. And that is such not unique, but such a nice touch to the style of entertainment, to the style of storytelling that we need from wrestling right now. We need to blur those lines a little bit more, because we're all wise to wrestling. This, like we said earlier, like, not to bring this whole point back around, but these two promos between The Rock and Cody really showcase two different sides of wrestling. This traditional side of wrestling and this new form of wrestling that I hope they go down the path of. And this particular promo, it blurs the lines a little bit more to bring up things like the TKO board, to say things like receipt, to say things like heel, to be wise with the fans, to know what we're saying behind the scenes, to be involved in the industry in a way that we're involved in the industry and how we talk to each other. Cody is seeing that, and whether that's him or the writing team or whatever, it doesn't matter. They're seeing this and they're bringing that out, and I love every single second of it. Blur those lines for me. I want every single week to be, not every single week. I mean, I want to talk about old matches as well, but like, I want this sort of storytelling to blur the lines so much more. I want to be like, oh my God, is he actually pissed? Is he actually doing this? Is the board really mad at him? Of course they're not. No, it's all work anyways. But to blur the lines like that, like Cody is right here.
And the crowd is loving it.
Loving it.
The crowd is so into it.
And let's talk about Cody's cadence here in his promo. I've thought about this a lot. Let's talk about Cody's cadence here and the delivery of this promo. What The Rock fails to do in his is that I think he hits too hard too quickly. He starts dropping the bitches like here and there, like bitch, the bitch word. He starts dropping them, I think, a little too early, and because he said it so much in past promos that it lost a little bit of flavor when he said it. But Cody masterfully, like, he must have taken some sort of like old Greek way of like doing speeches or something like that. But he masterfully weaves his way through this promo, and then when he gets to this whiny succubus, and if you don't know what that means, it means you're a whiny bitch. And the way that he hits that bitch, it just hits so much harder than anything else that he said before. Like, or even when he said asshole, he hits it with an ass. Like everything, every point of emphasis that he wanted to hit, he hit with expertise and cleanliness. It was surgical how he dissected The Rock. He made The Rock look like a bitch.
It was incredible.
It was so good. It was so good. Maybe I'm just like, look, I've been drinking tequila and I'm getting impassioned, but like it was that good. I remember sitting there and I was looking at Kate. I'm like, this is exactly what I need. I need somebody. I need somebody to say the things that we're all saying behind the scenes and bring it up and address it and use it as ammunition. That is the way forward. Lisan Al Gaib. That is the path that we see.
Desert power, baby.
Desert power. Hashtag desert power.
No, it was an absolutely terrific promo. And then, Paul comes out. Paul Heyman, that is. Confuse people and say Logan Paul. Paul comes out and talks about some of the stuff that went down. He kind of yada yadas through all of it. Says that there's going to be a face-to-face at Smackdown with Cody and Roman. And there will be no bloodline if he accepts. Except for Paul, of course. But then, one more thing. He demands, like I said, he demands Cody show up by himself. And so we're leading into something at Smackdown. Yeah. Hopefully some sort of minor betrayal here, kind of on the lead up to Mania.
Yeah.
But yeah, the promo was incredible. A+.
Amazing.
Just like yeoman's work here. Cody just absolutely killing it.
Like I said, man, like it just goes to show the level of talent that we're dealing with on this roster. Like it is, then
we hard cut out of this to Nia doing a cookie cutter promo to the camera.
And unfortunately,
saying she's gonna end Becky and take her spot at Mania. And it's like, oh no, I forgot.
Unfortunately, yeah, when you have something like this where you have Cody just kick ass for 5 to 10 minutes. And you cut to something like Nia, where it's just a spoken word thing and it's not just Nia here in her promo. It's like the entire, like, why even do this? When we just cut to commercial at this point. Like, you're not doing Nia any favors, just having her like shoot behind, like just shooting this promo behind this, like in the stadium, her just talking to the camera. When you hear the crowd in the background, like it's doing,
especially right after Cody just
crushing it, right? It does her no favor. So it's not just sorry, I keep saying Nia. It's not just Nia, and the promo. I
said Nia too, yeah.
And the promo that she put out. It's the production that they thought they put in. I felt it was just kind of ham-fisted in. You could have just gone straight to commercial. Like, I need to know what McDonald's is cooking up. Are we getting a big whack? Are we getting chicken wuggets? What are we getting here? What is next? What is next, Tyler? These are the questions that I need. One last thing before we move
I'll tell you what's next, Will. I'll tell you what's next.
One last thing. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah, go ahead.
All right. One last thing about the Paul Heyman bit. I was texting Tyler sort of real time as I was watching Raw. And I watch the Cody bit and I send Tyler a text going, OMG. And Tyler immediately knows what I'm talking about. He was like, Cody promo? So I was like,
Cody promo?
So he's like, we're dialed in. And then the Paul bit, by the numbers. But that being said, Paul is such a great actor. He's such a great actor and just playing this like conniving,
he's so good at what he does,
sniveling little like I'll be there, but I'm nobody.
I'll hold the belt. I'll hold the beads. You know what I'm about.
I say I love you, my tribal teeth.
You know what I'm talking about here.
Great stuff, Paul. You've earned it. You've earned everything. You've done it. It's your victory lap, and just keep running. Just keep running, Paul.
Just keep doing it, baby. Running down a dream. Which is also one of the songs I considered for later today. After the Nia promo, we get a Cody getting props from Jay and confirms if Cody's actually going to go to SmackDown alone, and he says yes, blah, blah, blah. Then we get Dom versus it's Ricochet. I got a pitch for you quickly here. So
Ricochet.
just before yes, I believe that Ricochet should be rebranded as Richard O'Shea. Rick O'Shea.
Okay.
I feel like this would be much more marketable. I feel like you got the double entendre, and I'm here for it.
All right.
The match itself was it was a quick dispatch by Ricochet.
It was fine. Not
much to say except Pat really hammering that yeeting all over himself thing. He's really loving that line.
I love it.
But pretty solid win here by Ricochet, which is good for him. It would be disappointing to see Dom get the win over him because he really has kind of Ricochet has been kind of dispatched to the B tier right now, and I kind of feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So it was good to see him get a win over someone who's had some showings.
Well, yeah.
Anything else you want to say about that one?
No, not too much. I'm with you. I'm very happy that Ricochet. He got his win here, and I hope that we see him more because just watching him last week with JD McDonough, I thought their performance together, and we get a little bit of it again in this match where him and JD McDonough do a little like Susan, a little spice here, and
play.
Yeah, I love how these guys work together. And I'm a big fan of the Ricochet style of wrestling. I know not a lot of people aren't, but I love very fast-paced, choreographed, clean style of like
he's so clean.
Acrobats.
Like for that style, he is flawless.
He's flawless.
It's really impressive to watch him work.
And I did not know that JD McDonough had that in him to be at that level of Ricochet. He obviously has his own approach to it because he can't be high flying like Ricochet is. Like Ricochet is like what, 4'3" and like 100 pounds, something like that.
No, I think Ricochet's got some bulk on him. He's no NCR.
He's jacked. He is jacked to shit. Like I remember looking at this match and just going like, he has probably got more muscle definition than a solid percentage of the entire roster. He is jacked, but he's also incredibly small.
Compared to some people on the roster, for sure, like it's hard for him to do what he did with Dom. And Dom and Priest aren't too far off in height, but it would be difficult for him to do what he did to Dom to do to Priest.
Yes. Yeah. So you got to pick your battles there. That being said, I'm impressed with how him and JD McDonough work, and I want to see a little bit more of that. I love their style of wrestling. So let's go. Like, let's give me more Ricochet. I like Ricochet. I don't know how he is on the mic. I haven't seen too much of him on the mic, but I don't need him on the mic. He's got Samantha Irwin. Just have her say his name. It's fine.
He's got a lot of skills, and I hope they push him in the future as Richard O'Shea.
Fair enough. All right, let's keep him going.
So we get a quick Sammy and Gable chat where, Sammy's giving him props for the match last week. Chad's being a bit prickly, and he says that Sammy can't beat Gunther, and that leads right into the IC contract signing. Oh, well, I guess we should talk about the camera work here.
Well, I mean, yeah, the IC championship signing happens, and there's not much to talk about in regards to the actual...
it's very straightforward here.
Yeah.
This is just basic smack talking from both of them, promoting the match.
Yeah.
And then we get into this incredible camera work where we follow Sammy out of the ring, into the back,
I love
through
this.
Gorilla, and then we transition into Awesome Truth talking to DIY with Indus Shear coming in. And then, Truth says, like, I don't want to fight them bearded boys. It's vaguely racist, but whatever.
It is. It is, but because of the innocence of R-Truth, we know that it's not.
Right. And then it kind of bleeds directly into R-Truth doing the What's Up intro with Awesome Truth. Did you see the whole storyline online about the Miz doing a remix to the to R-Truth song? Do you know about this?
No, I do not know about this. I was wondering what was going on about that. I was like wondering, because R-Truth goes like, well, no, we're not doing the remix. We're doing it like this. And I thought that was great, but like, I didn't know there was a remix storyline involved.
Yeah, so apparently on the first run of of this bit of Awesome Truth being the bit,
Which was like 10
Miz,
years ago.
like close, yeah, like some probably like 7, like between 10 and 5 years ago. Miz had wrote a remix to the intro, and R-Truth said, "Yeah, it sounds pretty good." And then someone in the backstage area behind a curtain went, "R-Truth, tell him the truth. That fucking shit is trash." It just fucking buried Miz's lyrics, and that's what this led into apparently.
Oh, fantastic. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So Miz wants to throw the remix out there, but yeah, the whole camera work thing was incredible, and I just do want to state in general that the last month, 2 months, I really appreciate what they're doing here with with the production values. I do like the turns they've done, the new approaches they've had, where the interviews are being held, where some of the camera transitions, lack of the zoom-ins on the slams. I just want to give props to that because it's been really interesting. This R-Truth and Dashir match is straightforward. There's like a joke bit at the end where Truth wins.
Accidentally.
Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, like whatever. I'm here for it.
It was good. It was good. But the main point here, the thing that makes it stand out, is this camera work. And then after watching this, I came back and I watched a few other segments, and to specifically look for the camera, the different camera things that they were doing, and they really kind of pull out all the stops here. Like even during the Cody promo, they do like almost a gimbal shot from within the crowd that Cody's facing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such an interesting touch. Especially
they've been doing a really good job of mixing it up, like since the change from Kevin Dunn, like I really appreciated some of the choices they've made.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a match later on. Like, I think pretty soon, maybe there's another. It's the Alpha Academy and New Day match.
New Day, yeah.
They do a camera shot where the cameraman is starting at the top of the ramp and then moves in closer for a spot. So the cameraman is obviously aware of the spot that's coming up. So that he moves in closer, and then he follows them around the ring to the other side for another spot before it's cut again. So it's another like 30 to 45 seconds of uncut walking camera angles, and it works so well, and it's so clean, it's so crisp. It just adds so much more value to the look of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been really enjoying it, and I'm really appreciative of the choices they've made lately with the production. But is there anything you want to say about the about the match? Like, really, there's nothing really there.
Not really.
It's very quick, and
like the ending.
Shear's getting buried, and I feel bad for them, but whatever. So that leads right into Sami Zayn Gable round 2, where Sami wants to know why he can't win, and Gable says that Gunther is on another level. Like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Poor Jinder Mahal. Poor Jinder Mahal.
Oh, yeah, just shot up straight to the moon and then buried immediately. See you later.
Like, not even
I hope
wrestling.
He's coming back. I like Jinder. Like, that's the thing with Jinder, is that he's a very good character. He's very good on the mic, but he really doesn't have the skills in the ring to put him in the spot that he should be. Right. And he's getting older, and he's transitioning into more of like a managerial role within Dashir, which has been, dominating his storyline for the last year or whatever. I really wish he was just like a touch better in the ring. And I didn't mind his match with Cody, but like, if that's really what we're going to do, just have him have one match against Cody and that's it. Or, not Cody, Seth. Like, we're going to have him one match against Seth and that's it. See you later. Like, it just feels like a little disingenuous to him, but I hope he can carve out
find something.
Yeah, I hope he can carve out something for himself leading forward.
As Calgary boys, we got to stick together.
And then we get Drew coming out for a promo, which I really like. I would like to touch more on, but honestly, it's pretty rote. Like, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's all pretty straightforward.
It's fine.
He comes out. The best bit of the whole thing was that he came halfway down the ring and Seth interrupted his entrance and walked by him.
Yes. But the problem with that little bit is that it was done before with LA Knight and Roman Reigns, and LA Knight did it better.
Yeah, fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
Sorry. Seth interrupts him before he can even get into the ring, and then he admits he's a spotlight junkie and like an Alcoholics Anonymous style, and they trade barbs and build to Mania, and it's all pretty straightforward. Like it's great. It's great
fine
for what it is.
They didn't really talk about Bloodline too much.
It is what it is.
I was half expecting like Seth to go into like, and I am an alcoholic, and I am a junkie.
And I have been addicted to heroin. And then we move into like New Day Alpha Academy, but it's the Alpha Academy B team. It's Otis and Tozawa. And you know what, to be fair, I appreciate Tozawa on a professional level. He's a great hand in the ring. He's been there a long time. And this is a very solid professional match. Everyone got their spots in. It was pretty quick, but it was, pretty solid on every front.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see Tozawa actually get some offense in. But the end of it is what I expected, a New Day win and a handshake and yada yada. Anything you want to touch on that match with?
No, just something that I said earlier, the camera work in this match. And I started paying attention.
Right.
It's peppered in throughout this entire episode, but I did notice the camera shot starting at the top of the ramp leading down to the ring and circling around. Great stuff. So if we can keep even that kind of stuff, if we can keep that going in after WrestleMania, that's gonna level up the product a lot for me. I love those little gimmick things. Anything you can do in a single shot, like I'm down for.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I love John Wick. Single shots are like my baby. If you can do anything in a single shot. Big fan of Daredevil. Hallways. If you can get a hallway and a guy.
Can we get a hallway match?
Can we get a hallway match? Single shot.
Actually, can we get Cody just running through security guards left and right?
Oh, dude, you're speaking my language here. Put the camera on a tripod. Don't touch it, and then you just have him just burst through doors on both sides and just like choreograph fight the entire time. I'm in. Let's do this.
Can we get AI to like blur out the rails on the floor? I mean, it's live. We can do that with AI, right? I'm here for it.
You could do anything.
Then we move into the Becky Nia Jax last woman standing match.
All right.
Becky comes out quick, and Nia is bad at wrestling. That's what I wanted to say up the top. Becky's having some problems trying to build the table.
What
Nia
the fuck was that whole table
delay
thing?
it any longer. It was hilarious. Like, Nia couldn't delay waiting any longer, so she throws Becky into the ring, then also has trouble setting up the table.
What is going on?
Then just starts throwing a fucking bunch of chairs in, and then continues to have problems with the table, and then gives up and goes out.
Yeah, what was going on there?
The rough slam for Becky on that pile of chairs. I saw something like sticking out from that pile of chairs, and Becky's ass landed right on it. Ugh. And as a 36-year-old man, did not love what I saw there. That looked like it was painful as fuck.
She's a warrior, man.
She really is. Like, it's mostly domination from Nia here with a lot of weapon action. And then Becky starts to get the comeback with some, great ring step work by both of them on the outside. Into the break, Becky's setting up a table in the ring, a secondary table, and then out of the break, we see the original table finally set up, and there's a ladder there now for some arbitrary reason, which we did not see because of commercial break. And Nia is climbing it and getting Pat McAfee to hold it.
Which should be
Becky is
like a rule
on
break
the table.
Or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, right. Becky gets off of it, and then it's the old fire extinguisher bit, which I haven't seen in a while, so that was nice to see. Like, it really sold for me because I haven't seen it in probably a year. I don't remember the last time a fire extinguisher was brought out. The Samoan drop through the table in the ring. It was much safer and cleaner looking Annihilator from Nia.
Yeah.
And props to Nia. That fucking manhandle slam from the apron through the table was
Did not look
gnarly.
fun. It did not look fun.
Like, good for her. She sold the shit out of that.
Yeah, I will say the beginning was rough, but those more dangerous things that that she tends to botch in the past, they looked good here. Is the Annihilator the one where
props to Nia on this match?
Yeah, is the Annihilator the one where she's like it's the sit down drop sort of thing from the
the butt
ropes?
drop,
Yeah, and the one thing that I always pay attention to when she does that drop is whether or not she keeps her hands on the rope, because from what I understand is keeping your hands on the rope ensures that you don't fall at a velocity that breaks their fucking sternum.
Kills the momentum, yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen her do it a number of times, even in the last few weeks, where she would do the drop and let go of the rope. And when you let go of the rope, you are now sitting on their chest. And Nia is not a small person by any stretch of the imagination, but some of the people that
no one would ever say that about her.
But
of all the threats I've leveled at Nia, that is not something I would say.
You know, fuck off. The people she's wrestling are not the same size. They are very small people by and large. Like 90% of the people she's wrestled. Actually, I'd say 100% of the people she's wrestled in the last however long are very small people compared to her. So, unfortunately, like, it sucks, I guess, for her, but she has to work extra safe. And I think that also that adds a little bit of credence of why the beginning of the match kind of felt really, really, really rough and choppy. I feel like Nia is keeping that in mind and still in the mindset of trying to be aware of the people that she's wrestling. And I saw a concerted effort from her to keep Becky safe while doing these spots, because if Nia wanted to, she can kill her.
Yeah. Like, I'm yada-yadaing through this match a little bit because we're kind of pressed for time here, but, like, I thought this match was great. I really legitimately thought that this match was very well executed, and I thought Nia did a great job with Becky, and now, like, part of it is, you know, Becky's ability to sell for someone like this. I mean, like, just to finish it off, you know, we finish off with a leg drop by Becky through the announcer's table onto Nia. It was a bit rough because, you know, like when Becky decides to climb the ladder, Nia's not anywhere near the
nowhere
table.
Near it.
They really should have had Becky set her up on the table before she climbed the ladder. But whatever, I'll ignore it. But it really was I'm yada-yadaing this, but it was really a fantastic match. And I thought Nia did a great job. I thought Becky was great as ever. And that leg drop looked fucking sick as hell. And she did a great job of protecting Nia on the leg drop. And you know, again, I talk a lot of shit about Nia Jax on here, and I won't stop because I think she's terrible. But this match was a high point for her on this run so far since her return. I thought she was very safe. I thought she was very aggressive. Some rough stuff at the beginning with her acting, which is always a problem with me. But I thought, all in all, a very good, captivating match that you knew Becky was winning from the start. And I thought they did a great job of kind of selling the stakes of the match.
Yeah, and not keeping it too long either. Yeah, I think overall I wasn't. I don't know if I don't think I'm on the same page as saying it was a great match. But I thought it was good. I don't know if I was captivated at the same level, but maybe as you were. Maybe because I
thought they sold the violence really well. There was some hard chair shots and some good kendo sticks, and
I don't know.
The table work was rough, but
the table work was rough. I felt like the whole weapons angle of it was weak. Was weak in general. I didn't.
Right. Fair enough.
I didn't like. There's this spot that they did with the kendo stick where Nia Jax is kind of sitting on top of Becky with a chair, similar to the AJ Styles thing with LA Knight, but facing the opposite direction.
Yeah, right.
And Becky's trying to hit her with the kendo stick, and she just, because the way that she's angled and with the way that the chair is on her, she can't get the...
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, she can't get the...
Not enough velocity.
Yeah, she can't get the velocity to make those hits look real. Nia does a good job selling it so that she can get off the chair and then they can get back onto their feet. But it was just kind of like, nah. Like, all right, I see what's kind of happening here. I know this is fake.
yeah, no, fair enough. And then after the conclusion, after the leg drop onto the announcer's table, Rhea comes in, and then we get some we get some fucking camera shots that we can show during the WrestleMania promo. And like I said before earlier in this episode, I do think this could end up being the greatest women's match of all time. Like, I really respect Charlotte Flair. I respect Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks.
Yep.
I respect these competitors. But it's not a stretch to say that Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch are the two best women's wrestlers of all time from a core standpoint.
Was it?
I think they could put on a 30-minute fucking banger at Mania, and I hope they do.
Was it? Sorry. 159, in case you're writing that down.
I got it, yeah.
Was it Becky who faced off with Trish Stratus at Survivor Series for the cage match?
Yes.
Okay. Then yes, I feel like we're in a good spot, because that match, the Trish Stratus Becky Lynch match, was probably my match of the year last year. That match is so good.
Like,
it's so good.
We're fucking throwing we're throwing all this like shit at Rock, saying that like, The Rock is like looking great at his age, yada yada yada. Like, I mean, like, look at
Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus is 48 years old.
Not far off.
And she put on a incredible performance at SummerSlam. If you haven't seen that match, listeners,
Survivor Series.
Dear Lord.
It was at Survivor. Was it?
What did I say?
You said SummerSlam.
No, SummerSlam. SummerSlam, yeah.
Was it SummerSlam? No, I remember...
it was SummerSlam.
No, I don't think it was SummerSlam.
Oh, no. It was supposed to be at SummerSlam, and then they punted it to the next event. The September event, whatever that was.
Maybe it was Payback.
Yeah. Let me look it up quick, because I don't want to fuck this up.
I'm on it.
But that match was absolute lights out, incredible. Payback, yeah, Payback.
It was Payback.
What an incredible fucking match that was, and needs to be watched over and over again, because that would have stole the show at SummerSlam if they had actually done their correct job and done that.
It was great.
But I do think that the way, like, with their youth, with their ability, I do think this could be the greatest women's match of all time. And I put money on it, honestly, because both these people can fucking go. They've built Becky enough to be a legitimate threat to Rhea. Because, like, honestly, like, when you're just staring at the logistics of it, Rhea is unbeatable. But Becky goes out there, like that, like we said last week, Becky and Seth are pulling the same shit. They're out here every week doing their thing, and they're really propping up Becky these last few weeks of just being like here to do whatever she needs to do every week to sell her ability.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for it.
Yes, let's go. And just go for it. When the lights go on, when that bell rings, let's go. If we can get something at the same caliber or higher as the Trish Stratus Becky Lynch match at Payback, this is going to be one of the greatest things that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah. All right.
Anything else you want to touch on for Raw, Will?
No, just overall the production work in Cody, man, I am 100% Cody Crybaby all the way. I'm going to get a neck tattoo. Yeah. I'm American now, actually. Even the call out to Homelander, he says, like, I'm going to go full Homelander on you and rip your throat out. I'm like, if we can get a Homelander Cody heel run in like a year, maybe like 6 months or something like that, when he's established as a champion, I'm here for that.
Well, it was interesting because he posted earlier that day on social media a picture of him as Bullet Club Cody.
Right.
Which, again, you're not really familiar with that part of wrestling lore, but, like, basically from the time Cody left WWE until he came back, he basically worked as a heel in Japan, in AEW, yada yada. And he posted a picture of himself as heel Cody in New Japan in the Bullet Club, and that got people fucking hyped. And honestly, he delivered, because that promo was sick as shit.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want from Cody right now, is just that, like, unfettered fucking blurring the line between heel and face. Like, he's a face, but he's just chewing the shit out of people. So that was great.
Yeah.
But, you know, people had said, like, oh, like, because when he posted that picture, he had posted it, like, back then he had the black hair still, or the brown hair still, before he had gone full Homelander. So I think that was a little bit of a mini call out, and I appreciated that.
Absolutely.
But Will,
it's time to play a
one thing
game.
left to do. Time to play the game.
Gong, gong.
Yeah, let's pull this up.
All right. What's he got cooking today? Yeah. Dollar Mike, yo.
These themes are for wrestling.
Dollar Mike, yo.
Who am I to criticize? The lyrics are dumb and kinda corny, but they get you hyped and ready for wrestling. Some of them need new overs.
Dollar Mike.
Some of them need more clarity.
Dollar Mike.
Some of them are really stupid.
Dollar Mike.
All of them get me hyped as fuck. Ooh. I don't know how well that will translate on the mic.
I have no idea, but we're going to keep doing it anyways. We're going to do it every week. Shout out to Dollar Mike,
but
yo.
These themes are made for wrestling. Well, I have 5 questions here for you. I got 5 trivia questions for you. I'm going to give you the lyrics of 5 different wrestling theme songs, and you're going to tell me... You're going to tell me which superstar these lyrics are attributed to.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 2 points if you can get it with me just saying it spoken word.
Okay.
And give you 1 point if you can get me when I sing it in the cadence of the theme song.
I am going to get you to sing every single one of them, you dick.
I'm fine with it. It's fine. I'm here for it.
All right. Let's see.
All right. Question number 1. Here are the lyrics to this man's theme song. Shouldn't have said man. Whatever.
Okay.
All the lawyers are defenseless. All the doctors are diseased. All the preachers are the sinners, and police just take the grease. All the judges, you are guilty. All the bosses, I will fire. All you bankers will have losses. Politicians, all are liars.
Okay, let's try to figure out the cadence here before Tyler tells me, before I make him sing it. Can you give me the first 2 lines of lyrics here?
All the lawyers are defenseless. All the doctors are diseased. All the preachers are the sinners, and police just take the grease.
One more time. The first 2 rhymes.
All the lawyers are defenseless. All the doctors are diseased.
All the lawyers are defenseless. All the doctors are diseased. I I'm close.
You're pretty close. You're pretty close, Will.
Wow. Yeah, I'm actually just singing the Cody Rhodes bit. Fuck. If that's close.
I'll let you sacrifice half a point to let me sing it.
All right. Sing it. I want to see where you go.
All the lawyers are defenseless. All the doctors are diseased. All the preachers are all sinners. And police just take the grease. All the judges, you are guilty. All the bosses, I will fire. All you bankers will have losses. Politicians, all are liars. Boom, boom. And then here comes the main part. Doom. You got nothing?
No, fuck. I was waiting for you to do something with the drop.
They talk to me, they talk to me, they talk to me.
Oh my god, it's Randy Orton.
They talk to me.
All right.
All the lawyers are defenseless. All the doctors are diseased.
Yeah, okay. Clearly Randy Orton.
You get 0 points on that, but you know who it is.
Yeah.
It's Randy Orton.
Damn.
All right, question number 2. Okay, I don't know about the cadence on this one. Okay, I'll just say the words. Okay. You tried to tell me what to do. I saw the door and kicked it down. I stepped right over and right through, and you can never stop me now.
Oh. You can never stop me now. Damn.
I don't know if I can get the cadence right now. I'm trying to get it in my head.
Yeah.
You tried to tell me what to do. I saw the door and kicked it down. I stepped right over and right through, and you can never stop me now.
You can never stop me now. Never stop.
I just have Randy Orton's theme stuck in my head.
Yeah, I've got.
You tried to tell me what to do. I saw the door and kicked it down.
Damn, this is tough. This is a tough one. The line that is familiar to me is the last one there. What was it again?
And you can never stop me now. You tried to tell me what to do. I saw the door and kicked it down. I stepped right over and right through, and you can never stop me now.
The Miz?
No, it is... Okay, let me see if I can get the cadence.
But it's like the Miz is like, I came to play because it's the price I pay. Time to get down on your knees and pray.
I'm trying to get the cadence.
Sorry, let me sing other songs. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention.
No, I'm not gonna be able to do this in any way that's not gonna give it away. Okay, let me try. Okay, god damn it, this is going so horribly right now. I can't get Randy Orton's theme out of my head.
This is great.
You tried to tell me what to do. I saw the door and kicked it down. I'm just going full Randy Orton here. I'm just gonna say you fail. It's Cody Rhodes.
Really? What point in the song is Cody Rhodes? It's like halfway through.
Okay, so we got
Fantastic. This is great audio.
Whoa! You tried to tell me what to do. I saw the door and kicked it down. I stepped right out and right through, and you can never keep me down.
Gotcha.
No?
Yeah.
It's later in the song.
It's later.
I picked later in the song for all of these.
Damn you. Damn you.
This is bad. Okay, number 3.
Okay.
We kill all of the devils in me. I still feel the darkness that lives in me. Give you chills, I'll take your soul in your sleep. I'm evil, there's no escaping for me.
Rhea Ripley?
Wow, fucking nailed it. Okay, sure. All right, Will. Don't know how you got that one.
I really
Motionless and
to
White.
that theme a lot. I like that one a lot. It's the chorus is I eat, sleep, bleed, the demons in your dreams. The heat, sleep. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Wow, fucking nailed it. All right, so now you're 2 for 3 after that. Question number 4.
No, I'm 1. I haven't got a single one right except for Rhea.
No, you get 2 points for not having the cadence.
Oh, okay.
So you get 2 points on number 3.
Okay.
Okay, number 4. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot. Knock your shell off. My money's stacked fat plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business.
John Cena.
I live
John
this.
Cena. Thugonomics.
It's automatic. I win this. Oh, you hear those horns. You finished. Well, you're 4 for 4 now.
Yeah.
You got 2 points on John Cena.
I can't turn the swell off. That line was the tell.
That was the giveaway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I for some reason I remember that line.
All right, number 5. This is probably a toss-up here to see if you'll get it or not. Okay. You gave me fortune. You gave me fame. You gave me power in your God's name. I'm every person you need to be.
You gave me fortune. You gave me pain. You gave me fortune. You gave me fame.
You give me fame. You give me power in your God's name.
Give me power.
I'm every person you need to be.
Oof, this one's tough. This one's a tough
Would
one.
you like me to sing it in the cadence? Because it'll give it away immediately.
All right, sing in the cadence.
You gave me fortune. You gave me fame. You gave me power in your God's name.
Oh.
I'm every person
CM Punk, Cult of Personality.
It's the Cult of
Personality. Like Mussolini.
It's the Cult of Personality. It's the fucking Cult of Personality.
I can't wait till
all right, I
comes
think
back
Wynn
to
actually won.
Raw.
I saw him lifting today on social media with no cast. That's it for this week. This has been 141 and 2/3 podcast. Will, do you have any plugs for the people? Because I know you got one. I know you got at least one.
Dune Part 2. Go see it.
I know you got a second, Will.
No, join my. I hope I know which one you're talking about. I can be on a different page. Join the chapter by chapter Patreon. I'm doing Lego content on there now.
Let me tell you, this Lego content, guys, it is hot fucking fire.
It is not.
It is Will just rapping for 45 minutes while he puts Lego together. He's freestyling. 45 minutes of Will freestyle putting together Lego.
You know
it's
what?
incredible.
For $1 a month, it's worth it.
I mean, honestly, kinda. Yeah, for sure. 45 minutes for 1 hour? I'm here for it.
Oh, you get a lot more than that. I think we put 6 hours of content every week on that damn thing.
Shit.
All
right, please rate and review us. We are 14123% at gmail.com. Reach out to us. Give me your quotes. Give me your thoughts. Give me your reviews of Will's Patreon YouTube content. I am here for it all fucking day. That's it for this week, guys. The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice.
I gotta sign off.
Remember,
as well.
we're coming up on WrestleMania. Oh, Will?
I gotta sign off.
Go ahead.
I'll let you finish.
I'm just saying, we got WrestleMania content coming out. I'm considering a few things for WrestleMania weekend, but you have to know that there is going to be hours and hours of content out. Do not sleep on it. We're going hard in the paint. I was considering a live stream. We can't make that happen right now, but I'm just saying, you're going to want to be here for WrestleMania weekend. We're going hard.
All right. Now remember, everybody, the difference between a Frankensteiner and a Hurricanrana is how good you are at math and what country you're from. See you guys next week.
Hell yeah.